How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffle Rowlett, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Guess what? A Nintendo Direct has been confirmed for the 18th, just like the leak said. So the leak, we had specifically a leak for those who do not know. There was a leak that was from Among Us, of all things, and that leak pretty much gave out the information of when this Direct was going to happen, which was the 18th. And guess what? We got it! Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new Nintendo Direct coming. Now, of course, I want to talk quickly about the information we know about this Direct, as well as some other stuff as well to do with Pokemon. So, we have some leak rumor stuff, and let's get started. First things first is Nintendo of Europe tweeted out, "Join us for a Nintendo Direct live stream focused on hashtag Nintendo Switch games coming in the second half of 2024. Now, there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during this presentation. Again, they are emphasizing, re-emphasizing for like the second time now. They're saying, please understand, there will not be any mainline Nintendo like Switch 2 news, right? Like, the next console will not be mentioned during this Direct. And the fact that they have to mention it twice is a pretty sorry, and sad thing, because that just means that there will still be people out there who will still comment and reply asking, will there be Nintendo Switch 2 news? Which is ridiculous. But yes, they confirm here, no Nintendo Switch 2, which that's pretty much kind of expected. Let's just put it like that. We kind of already expect that to be the case. Now, the last Nintendo Direct we had was in February, right? The last one we actually saw was in February. That one didn't really have much. I think most people thought that, it wasn't even a regular Direct, if I remember correctly. I thought it was just like a partner showcase, and it was really boring. There wasn't really a lot there. However, this is a regular Nintendo Direct, which means mainline games, like mainline Nintendo games, which also does include Pokemon, and it's going to be a 40-minute Direct. It's going to be at 4 p.m. tomorrow, CEST, so that's Central European Standard Time. If you're in the UK or Portugal, that should be about 3 p.m. your time. If you're in North America, just wind back 7 hours. So it's going to be some time like early in the morning for any North American people. Very early morning if you're in the West Coast of America. So it's going to be pretty early for you guys to watch this, but 4 p.m. for us in Central Europe. For Asia, you're going to have to do some conversions for that. But basically, it's going to be 40 minutes long, which is a very lengthy, Direct. It's not a short one. It's a pretty hefty Direct with hopefully a lot of information. Maybe Metroid Prime 4. Who knows? And honestly, I'm very curious. They also do link it here to the watch page, which is literally just the page here. It's in 23 hours, as you guys can see. It's still listed here. Visit Nintendo Direct website for more information. And yep, basically they just confirm here the same information they had on the tweet, that there's not going to be anything about the Switch 2, and that's pretty much that. Now, let's talk about, of course, how does Pokemon fit into any of this? Well, for this Nintendo Direct, you got to understand, Pokemon usually does their own separate presentations. They used to have Pokemon Directs in the past. They now have Pokemon Presents, which are the separate kind of event specifically for Pokemon and Pokemon announcements and news. However, and I should point this out, however, this is very important, there are cases where Pokemon stuff is shown and revealed during Nintendo Directs, okay? There is a chance, if there's like a new Pokemon game coming out that isn't like a necessarily massive game, like the same way Legends ZA might be, they could announce it here, or they could announce actually Legends ZA information, like just gameplay or something, could be shown the same way that last year, when we had a Nintendo Direct in June, this exact same thing happened. During June, they had a Nintendo Direct, and guess what? They also, alongside it, revealed the gameplay for the brand new DLC for Scarlet and Violet. So that thing happened exact same time. Like, we got both things at the same time, and that's the important thing you have to remember. They could definitely give us new information here. They can definitely give us new things. So please bear that in mind. There's always a chance we could get new, big new information from this. And that's why I stay optimistic for Pokemon. There's always a chance because they've done it in the past. And that's the most important thing. They've done it in the past, which means there's always a chance it could happen again. Just keep that in mind. Leave that in your head, but don't get overly excited assuming that Pokemon is guaranteed to be there. There's no guarantee. It's a 50-50 gamble if we're going to see Pokemon-related stuff. They say it's only 2024 stuff, so just because of that, it makes me feel like Pokemon is less likely to show up because Legends ZA is for next year. But again, there's no guarantees that that's the only thing they're going to show here. There still might be some other Switch games that are for next year that are going to be revealed, and stuff for other games that aren't necessarily for this year. They do say it focuses on it, but doesn't mean that's the only thing that's going to be in there. Like, every Direct that does say focus on XYZ usually has a little bit extra in it, beyond just that time frame. So just keep that in mind. There's always a chance it could be information beyond that in here. But again, we don't really know as of the as of this moment. Moving on though, we have this post right here from none else than our boy Soul Silver Art, who posted this saying they're getting ready. Pokemon Legends ZA draws nigh, and basically it is the Pokemon Center in Japan, I think, which is changed its name now to Pokemon Fit Shop X and Y, and they have a giant X and Y logo with the Lumiose Tower and everything in the middle there, which is kind of weird, kind of surprising. But yes, basically, this was tweeted by PokeTimes. They're a official Pokemon account, and they say that basically they now have like a special like X and Y section now, which is so random and it's interesting. But that means that the promotional cycle for X and Y, for Legends ZA, which is again related to X and Y, probably is starting to take like shape. It's starting to actually begin now. Like, this means that we're there now, guys. It's starting. Like, the actual promotional cycle, the leaks, all that kind of stuff, it's beginning now. And that means that we should be aware of anything that's posted. Anything could happen today, tomorrow, throughout the next month, especially in August, by the way. Definitely stay tuned for August on this channel, or just on the internet, to be honest, just to see what's going to be happening, because in August there is the Pokemon World Championship, and the World Championship is usually where we get some new gameplay, trailers, etc., stuff like that usually gets shown off during the Pokemon World Championship. And this year it's being held in Honolulu, Hawaii, in the United States of America. So we're going to be definitely like keeping track of that, because information usually does get dropped around that time frame. So again, keep that in mind. Just bear in mind that could happen, and that's just an important thing that I think you guys should remain, kind of optimistic about. Either way, moving on though, we have another thing to talk about, because we've already spoken about some of this stuff, but let's talk about a regular rumor, because there was this rumor posted and I thought it would just be fun to cover it, but it is a 4chan post, so please bear in mind these things are not really guaranteed to be necessarily real, or that the information is legitimate? Let's just put it like that. Okay, but either way, so what it does say though is the following, which is Legends ZA by Anonymous, posted on the 17th, so this was posted today, and it goes on and says that we're going to be getting the following Pokemon as starters. It says starters are Poplio, Scorbunny, Sprigatito, and we also get regional forms. For those guys, I'm guessing, like the three of them will get regional forms, the same way that I guess the ones in Legends Arceus got, right? Like, we had Cyndaquil, Oshawott, and I think Rowlet, right? So yeah, we had those three, and they all got like special regional forms for their final evolutions that were supposed to be kind of differentiating them from the regular versions of themselves. But I guess in this case, he's saying that Poplio, Scorbunny, and Sprigatito, which is an interesting combo. Sprigatito is a very new Pokemon. It's the last like literally this generation's, starter Pokemon. It would be weird to already see it this early. Like, I would assume maybe something from like Scorbunny makes sense, right? Or even Grookey. But like, Sprigatito this early would be a bit wild, I'm not gonna lie. That would be a little bit crazier. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like that's a little less likely to be real. However, moving on, they say Legends Arceus battle styles are gone. So that's the agile style and the strong style. Like, those are the two different like things you could use in Legends Arceus to like make your like moves either go faster, like have priority, or to just hit stronger but slower. Apparently those things are gone, which is fine. I don't think necessarily it's the biggest loss in the world that we don't have those. However, we are getting Megas back, right? So we should be fine. He says crafting more or less returns with a huge overhaul and permanent items, which is good. That's very nice. I would love if that's the case. Crafting, I feel like, can fit in Pokemon pretty well, and I think them overhauling it and improving upon it, honestly, is a good thing. It's a perfect thing. I don't mind it. As long as they don't make it tedious, I think it's going to be fine. But yeah, again, a fine point. Again, nothing here sounds like that crazy or out of the loop, or like too crazy to be real, so to say. However, the next thing though is Pokemon can still find items in the overworld and fight other Pokemon like in PLA. That's good. We want that. We really want that, okay? That's definitely something we want to keep. One, we want to make sure that, like, that our Pokemon can just be usable in the same way they were usable in PLA. Like, that's just something that should stay throughout. Moving on though, they say wild Pokemon can ambush you in hordes of 5. And you can either attack them or use crafted overworld items to defeat them or distract them. That sounds pretty cool, actually. I guess this is kind of taking it from the whole, like, how that functioned in X and Y, like the system of like the exact same system with the hordes. I think that they're just taking that and expanding upon it, which honestly, that's cool, because that basically kind of harkens back and pays homage to X and Y, because we're not getting an X and Y remake necessarily. So it kind of gives like a little bit of a nice, kind of a nice through line and connection to that specifically, which I like. I like that. I think that would be really cool if they did do that. And the fact that you would have to make and craft certain items to avoid this, also seems reasonable to me. Like, that doesn't sound that crazy. Then they say also Lumios is being rebuilt and requires crafted items to help complete it. Kind of expected to be something like that. I'm kind of expecting us like submitting kind of resources and then watching the city kind of grow little by little. And like kind of like whenever in like Pokemon, like literally in any of the recent Pokemon games, if you like go and help somebody out, like for example, the dojo in the Isle of Armor, if you give a bunch of money to like the Watts, if you give Watts to Honey, she will just upgrade the area and give you some extra stuff to use, like the Cramomatic and stuff like that. So basically, it's similar to that, like, but just on a large scale, I'm guessing, which is fine. I mean, it's fine. It's okay. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. They say that the Battle Institute is overhauled and serves as a main purpose for trainer battles in the city. Okay. The more battles you do, the more information gets sent to the Institute. All right. That actually, I mean, doesn't sound like the end of the world. I actually think that's pretty cool. So a nice little, like, you know, battle facility of sorts. But all the battles would take place there. So I guess it's like following the whole Legends kind of mantra of kind of keeping it a little bit more about the, you know, the adventuring part of it rather than the battling and trainer battling aspect. So yeah. They say there is a nobility ranking based on your battles, and boss trainers named Dukes and Duchesses serve as gym leaders. Okay, interesting. Now, Dukes and Duchesses have 2 phases, one team battle and one battle where you fight their Mega Evolution. Honestly, that sounds pretty interesting. That doesn't sound that crazy. Like, I'm going to be real. I think that sounds pretty solid. Like, straight up, that sounds pretty cool. Now, there are more Mega Evolutions, apparently. More Mega Evolutions introduced than ORAS. Now, ORAS, how many, like, let's see. All new Megas in ORAS. How many did we actually have in ORAS? Like, how many new Mega Evolutions did we, on average, have? Let's see. So, we had Mega Beedrill. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the list from, you know, like, from specifically ORAS. I could be wrong. But, yeah, we had Beedrill. We had Pidgeot, Mega Slowbro, Steelix, Sceptile, Swampert, Sableye, Sharpedo. Damn, there's a lot of them. Dude, I'm just scrolling through and there's a decent chunk of them. Not that many, but still a decent amount of them. So they're suggesting here that we're going to get even more, like even even a bump in that, which honestly, that would be sick. I want more Megas. I love Mega Evolutions. I know maybe not everybody loves Megas. I freaking love them. I want to see them go like just all out with it and just go crazy with it. Add a bunch of them. They also say that Magearna gets a Mega Evolution, which, I mean, okay. Also moving on, Xerneas and Yveltal get fragmented forms. Fragmented, I guess, meaning that they're just not fully complete, but just pieces of each other, which is fine. Moving on, Zygarde doesn't get a new form, but you must summon it to defeat Xerneas and Yveltal both. Okay, so no new form, but just regular Zygarde. And then finally, AZ is the final boss battle and uses Eternal Floette. His Mega Evolution is Golurk, of all things. Golurk getting a Mega would be pretty cool. And AZ being the final boss actually makes sense. Using, like, Eternal Floette, though, doesn't make sense. Unless this is so far back in time that this was when he actually still had it. That's the only thing I can imagine. Then also, Kalos starters get Mega Evolutions. And that would be great, because they didn't get one back at X and Y. So this is about time, man. It's about time. It's been a long time coming. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much that rumor. Now, I think this rumor is pretty solid. Sure, does it have a few gaps? Maybe a bit. But overall, I think it's a pretty solid one. And ladies and gentlemen, we got a Nintendo Direct, okay? We got a Nintendo Direct tomorrow. I still can't believe, like, it's actually really happening. Let's go. Got a Nintendo Direct tomorrow. I will be live streaming, of course, guys, on this channel. I'll be live, like, 2 or 3 hours before it actually starts. I will be live right here, okay? I'll be live right here, ready to rumble and watch the thing live. So if you guys want to join us, please do so. I'll be, of course, you know, like, linking the stream and all that sort of stuff. But, yeah, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Peace out.